Hello, welcome to this presentation. In this presentation, I will be showing how we can empower public sector entities accountability with the introduction of Usawa Cloud Accounting Software. My name is Bayode Agbi. What we'll be covering today, first, I'll be giving you an overview of what we'll be talking about today, introducing myself more, and I'll be talking of those reform at different levels of public sector and the role of financial management for it. I'll be also be bringing to bear the differences in public sector accounting and why do we need to start to consider cloud accounting technology in public sector at this moment. Then I'll be introducing to you Usawa Cloud Accounting Software, followed by a quick demonstration of the features of Usawa by giving you a quick walkthrough. The next step of it is how you can get custom demo from us and any how you can send us any question, and then I will give you a closing remark. Now, who am I? My name is Bayode Agi. I'm a chartered accountant and I've had over 20 years of working in public sector, federal civil service to be precise. I started my service with the Office of Auditor General. In 2007, I was seconded to National Film and Video Censors Board, where I became the head of finance and account. In 2010, I went to the United Kingdom to do my master's when I became aware or I was exposed to cloud technology. And when I returned to Nigeria, I still returned to National Film and Video Censors Board, where I became the head of internal audit and control. While in UK, I did two masters. One of them is a master's in accounting, and then I resigned in 2018 as assistant director, finance and accounts, and I founded Pillarcraft Accounting. Now, Pillarcraft Accounting is a subsidiary of Agbi Biode and Co, a chartered accountant firm. Pillarcraft Accounting is actually an outsourced accounting firm that have leveraged on cloud accounting software to provide outsourced accounting services to businesses. We've taken a notch further. What have we done? Over the years, we've seen that the Nigerian market is basically flooded with foreign accounting software that most times don't take consideration of what the businesses in Nigeria need. And that's why we started Usawa Cloud Accounting Software. But I haven't started it with my background in public sector and the fact that I've also lectured in ICANN classes, public sector accounting. I also saw that a lot of MDAs, ministry departments and agencies were being deployed. A lot of technical companies, tech companies, accounting firms were deploying for them accounting software that actually built and made for profit making organizations, and they are being used to do their financials. This means that they could not get the best of these solutions, and that was the reason why we decided in Pillarcraft that we must invest in building Pillarcraft for non-for-profit, which covers both public sector organizations from federal government to states to local governments, any of the ministry departments and agencies, NGOs, association, and any non-for-profit organizations. This, in our own view, and what we have seen in the market, is the only accounting software targeted at public sector and non-for-profit at the moment in Nigeria market, and we're constantly developing to suit the need of the market. Now, why does this solution matters now? You must agree with me, there's a lot of driving force for demand for transparency in federal, state, and local governments at the moment. Part of what we're saying that is that, for example, local government autonomy, there's a lot of issues. People are wanting to be put a lot of more transparency in the way finances of public sector of governance is being run in Nigeria, and that also have put on very hot seat the Office of Auditor General, both in the federal level and at the state and the Public Account Committee. And therefore, they require more timely and accurate reports. Which legacy system that we're using, the manual system we're using, which lacks integration, is not efficient enough to provide this level of reporting that is needed. And therefore, there is a need for public sector organizations, MDAs, especially in Nigeria, to follow the global trend, to shift in terms of using cloud technology that will allow them real-time accountability. And that's one of the reasons why we are pushing that Usawa should be adopted by most MDAs in Nigeria at the moment. Now, why is it important for accounting need for a public sector organization to adopt an accounting software that is built for public sector? First is the fact that accounting softwares that are built for public sector are usually accrual based that are pushed as an IPSAS accounting software. Therefore, because as you are aware, one of the major focus of Nigeria at the moment is that we want to leave the cash basis accounting to the accrual basis accounting and also adopt properly IPSAS. One of the things we have done is to ensure that we built a software that aligns with this. And it also helps in terms of budget performance and monitoring. And it's important that you want to understand that fund utilization and tracking is very key when it comes to accounting software when in public sector. And this is one of those key areas that Usawa is also very good at. And it's important that the public sector have an accounting software that is audit ready and has a lot of compliance reporting. Most importantly, it must be able to track the multiple funding sources that comes with public sector, including the IGR, appropriation project, donor funds, and what have you. And that's one of the assets, the powers of Usawa Cloud Accounting Software. Now, why are most people deploying? Why wouldn't the profit accounting softwares work for public sector? Like we said, these are designed for commercial profits. They lack fund segregation and they don't allow you to do that level of multiple vote heading tracking that a public sector accounting software is actually designed for. You cannot generate an IPSAS compliant report, and usually they are very poor for fit when it comes to appropriation based expenditure framework, which an accounting software for public sector should be built for. Now, one of the major areas that an accounting software for public sector should manage is fund accounting. Fund accounting is a core concept for public sector financial management. It allows tracking of money based on the purpose for which the money is sourced and purpose for the funding. Which that means if you have an accounting software that allows proper fund accounting, it ensures that there's an appropriation integrity, funding conditions are complied with, because sometimes there are things, for example, does your funding allows you to have unrestricted funding, or is it a general fund, is it a time-based restricted fund, and all that. And that also will promote accountability. But so the question is, why are we talking about cloud accounting at this point? Apart from the fact that it is what the world is migrating to, there's a lot of disadvantages in having those server-based technology. Though yes, there's always that discussion around security, which by the time you contact us for a clear, customized demonstration, we have to show you how your data is actually safe and is managed by you. We're going to deploy. We're deploying the solution for you, managed for you. Now, the only advantage of this is that if you deploy it and it's being used on a cloud base, you can have access to. Once you have access to internet, you can have access to the cloud accounting software anytime and anywhere, and that becomes very, very good, and it opens up a lot of opportunities for ministry agencies and departments that have offices across federation. All those offices need to have is internet, and once they have internet, they can raise their receipt, and that allows the organization to be able to state at a go how much have they made, how much are they spending. Report can be at department level, it can be at level of geography. However the report needs to be designed, it can be. But the advantage is that all the state offices, if it's a MDA that has state offices across, they can all have data imputed at the same time, therefore making reports more real time than we have before. And that also will help the visibility of internal control to see how things are being done in a real time. There's a lot of things that can actually be added to a cloud accounting software, including approval management process that can actually be added to it. And that's because it's cloud, allows better interdepartmental collaboration between CBN, the Office of Accountant General, and all the departments involved. Sharing of data becomes easy depending on what needs to be shared. The API is available, and you can use that to share any data that you want to do. And this will reduce those manual reporting and those human errors that we normally see when we're using the manual accounting system between sending ledgers, changing figures, and all that. And that also will improve a lot of audit trail and transparency. Now, in our opinion, there's a lot of ways that this can be deployed. It can be deployed as a full suite where it manages end to end. It can also be deployed in a way that is only managing payment and receipt of the agency, ministry, of department. Whichever way you want it to be implemented, reach out to us and we can explain the spectrum of implementation that we can offer to you depending on where your organization, ministry, department is when it comes to technology adoption. Now, let me introduce to you Usawa. Now, Usawa was specifically built with the National Chart compliance, National Chart of Account, National Chart account in mind. I'm an accountant that's worked in public sector for 20 years. I've also been lecturing finance, public sector accounting in ICANN classes, and that has exposed me to those gaps that we need to fill. And those are the experiences plus my also working and building the for-profit accounting software is the reason why we could say that Usawa has been built by me, who is a public sector accounting professional for MDAs in Nigeria, with the mind to make sure that they're able to comply with the National Chart of Account, in terms of reporting. It has a localized view of IPSA, but with international perspective, and allows us to customize it to suit all the appropriate formats that you can have. What we're going to be demonstrating to you is a basic format. Once we understand your need, we can actually customize it to suit the various needs you have in your ministry, department, and local government. Now, it has built-in templates for various local government, various states, and federal government. We will not be demonstrating that immediately until we commission them. We'll be able to customize it to suit you. And it's actually, we built it in a modular manner that each module is standalone actually, and allows us to develop and upgrade or change each module as it suits your organization, ministry, or department. So we have the budget module, payment voucher, advances tracking, funding, report, inventory. I'm going to be demonstrating that to you to show you the full features that Usawa has, and now you can benefit ministry, department, or agencies. Now, what are those key features that Usawa do have? Like I said, Usawa has budget setup and voted in control. It allows you to do payment voucher generation, and if you want to build in approval process into it, it also allows that. It also allows you to do fund source tagging. So you have things like, oh, was it based on particular year of appropriation, IGR, is it a donor, is it a grant, and all that. And you can do automated monthly, quarterly financial report available in Usawa. And it also allows you to have a good audit trail of what is happening in the business, of who has done what. So there's no reason to have to be scared of any security issues of that. And it comes with a dashboard that director, PAMSEC, commissioners, or high level people can actually use to view. Top level executives of ministry agencies and department can use to view what is happening in their business rather than this should I say the practice where the DG, director general, the top level executive of the agencies, ministry and department, we have to call the head of finance every morning to say what do we have, what is outstanding, what have we not done. You will be able to see that on your phone, on the dashboard, in your any of your devices that is available to you that has internet, to see how your business, how the organization is at that particular time. Now, Usawa, like I said, and I reiterate, is developed by a Nigerian accountant, and I have a lot of public service roots, and therefore the emphasis is ensuring that we are giving ministry, departments, and agencies in public sector of Nigeria what we know will work, what we know will serve them, not just something that we have built for the essence of just selling it or like just any IT company selling something. We are building it with the mindset of making sure that we add value to public sector organizations that will be using Usawa. It is focused on local realities because the support is local, everything concerning it is local. We are able to respond to however you want it customized at any point and any kind of changes to suit your workflow that you want to have in it. Now, it is designed basically to reduce those workflow, those daily reconciliation, monthly review that we do in public sector, and allows us to boost accuracy and be able to have a lot of accuracy in public sector accounting in Nigeria. So now I'll be sharing my screen to show you a live demonstration on Usawa. After the live demonstration, I will come back to my PowerPoint presentation to continue. Presentation of Usawa. Now, once we implement Usawa for you, the starting point is that you be defaulted on the dashboard. Now, this is a dashboard of Usawa. On the dashboard, you are able to see how the ministry, department, and agency is actually doing in terms of the amount of outstanding receipt voucher that has not been received, if you are expecting allocation, because as you know, once you start to do accrual accounting, IPSAS accrual accounting, you need to accrue for income that has not been received. You need to accrue for payment that has not been paid. It's not like cash accounting. So you have the receipt that has not been collected. You have the payment voucher that has not been paid, and you have outstanding advances that has not been nilled out. So that will give you an overview, and then the bank balance of the agency, ministry, or department. At the top here, you have a bit of income and expenses that shows the total amount that has come in and what has been expended to date. Please note, this is basically as correct as far as the accounting department has worked. If they are working as it should be, whenever the head of the agency ministry looks at it, to give him an idea of what has been spent so far on in the month to month, like that. Below that, you have the cash flow, the total money that has come in, the total money that has been expended, and then you also have the top X5 expenses to basically give you an idea what are those areas that the ministry department is actually spending a lot of money on. Now, we only have this here, the tax due for in case of VAT deducted as source, to be able to account for it. Stamp duty, we're working to add things like stamp duty to it, withholding taxes to it, so that we know what has been deducted and what has not been remitted at every point in time. Now, at the top, we have the total amount that is in the bank balance, but below here, we have all the banks. If you have the number of banks you have, actually, I'm talking basically for public sector now in federal government, basically the amount of money that has been credited into your account in central bank. But if it's an MDA or a state agency that's running with maybe a normal commercial bank, you can actually add the bank here and see the total number amount that you have outstanding from those bank at every point in time. Now below you have the number the 5 vendors, the people that your top suppliers and what they supply. In terms of customers, you have people that are sent that are paying you money. If it's a revenue generating agency, you're able to see the people that are paying the most when it comes to collecting you're collecting revenue from. That allows you to have an idea of where the money is actually coming in from. Now let me go into those features that Usawa has that you find very useful. First is that Usawa allows you to keep all the contact of your customers and suppliers and employees. We'll come to that later. It also allows you to do the processing of your invoices, your vouchers, your receipt vouchers, to do refunds where there is a need for that. We actually did Usawa to be able to scale up depending on how your organization is. Like I said, this is a generalized one. We can actually customize and remove and add whatever you don't need to it. It allows you to also raise the payment voucher. Like I said, if you're raising payment voucher, we can also expand it to allow you to have a bit of workflow approval into it. But if not, it can also serve as a documentation of payment voucher, raise what has been paid, payment that have been paid, and the outstanding payment voucher that you have. It also allows you to manage advances, what we call reimbursables, that you give staff amounts, they spend, they show evidence of spending and all that. That can also be added in Usawa. Usawa has a robust fixed asset module that allows you to take inventory of all your fixed assets, do depreciation of them, which is required when you are running IPSAS. If there have been expenses or boarded, this allows you to also take consideration of them in here. That is one of those things that you have when it comes to Usawa. Now, it also allows you to do the journals. If in case you need to do manual journals that you may need at the end of the day to maybe write off something, to recover expenses and all that, Usawa has a full module to do that. It also allows you to manage your inventory, your stock of things you have in your store, your central store. And one of the beauty of what we have built in Usawa is that you can actually manage stores across various locations, not just in the headquarters. You can actually manage stores across all the locations of the agency. Now, this is where the banking, I will not dwell on it, basically is where you can import bank statement, reconcile financials, your bank statement to be able to prepare your reconciliation report that is needed for the audit and review of how you are performing. And this is where you have the report. And like I said, Usawa has all the reports you need to be compliant in terms of statement of financial position, statement of comprehensive income, as you have it in IPSA, your trial balance, your fixed asset reconciliation, and all that. All those things are already in Usawa. We also have things that allows you to do your assets, to be able to do fixed asset reconciliation. One of the features that Usawa has within it is that you are able to do, you can actually keep things on your cloud. In case you want to have documents that you want to store in the cloud, Usawa allows you to even store in the cloud by keeping documents there. Now, let's now go to the beautiful part of Usawa. One, it allows, like I said, a lot of customization in terms of your details, your chart of account, which can be based on national chart of account or just a general chart of account that we have here. You can see we have different things when it comes to revenue, government grants, program services, investment income, federal grant, and all that. This can all be customized to suit you, expenses, the various expenses that you have in your ministry, department, and agencies. Even creating, importing chart of account, national chart of account is very easy. We have the depreciation, the asset, non-current asset, and current asset, intangible asset. All of them are taken care of in Usawa, especially when it comes to funding. Now, let me go back to the settings again to show you one of those things that Usawa allows you to do. Now, because we know that you may want to use Usawa in a lot of your locations, we are able to create in such a way that you can decide what the users will be able to see. So we, rather than we leaving this to our own ideology and all that, we know that you may decide the level of permission you want to give, and that's why we built Usawa in such a way that you can decide that you can create user group, either maybe state offices, and decide what they're allowed to see. Now, we intentionally left this so that a head of finance or director of finance can easily create a user without a cost into us and decide what those users will be able to see or do, or even your IT department can be involved in this. They can easily decide on what those users can see, can do in Usawa. Now, also, one of the major areas where Usawa has a very strong point is that we are able to do fund accounting, which is the main reason why Usawa is a public sector accounting software. By adding fund, you can actually add fund. As we know, a fund is a specific source of fund that you want to do a report when it. So let's assume this funding is a capital project. Project 2025 is a project, and you can decide, is it a restricted fund? If it's a permanently restricted, meaning that you cannot spend above what the fund is that. If it's a temporary restricted one, means that it may be restricted based on time, based on completion of the project before the funds balance of the fund can now be transferred to general. Or if it's an unrestricted, it can be also be termed like that. So you can actually have capital project 2025 personnel, depending on how you want to do it. We allow you to do those kind of reporting. And where you will see that is if you are going to generate any reports, you can actually generate your report based on the funds, the various funds you have in your organization. If you do not select the funding, you are going to have a general report. But in case you want to have the fund you want to report on, you can easily click on the fund, and then the report of that fund is the only thing you are going to see. And that is one of the beauty of Usawa. Now, we are within the system, we are just a call away. If you need help, once your people click on it, they can easily chat with our people, and we can explain, guide them on how to get the best of Usawa at any point. Like I said, this is a generalized demonstration. If you want a specific demonstration that relates to your ministry, department, or agency, contact us, and then we will be able to give you a more detailed demonstration that is customized to suit your need. Let's go back to the presentation and continue. Now, I haven't watched the demonstration that we did. That, like I said, that is a generalized demonstration. If you want a custom demonstration, please reach out to us. Contact us at Pillarcraft, and we will be able to give you demonstration that fits your organization, your ministry, department, or agency. Having reviewed what you do and have more understanding of what you need to be customized to in terms of your revenue, the various appropriation heads and all that. And do you have a chart of account different from the national chart of account? Whatever you need, we can now have a sit down and then we can produce something that will make you understand that Usawa is actually fit for you. And that will give us an overview. We can now give you a proper overview of it. And at the end of the day, we want to ensure that your operations are more efficient. Now, our workflow, if we're going to implement Usawa for you, is that we do a detailed planning. Our approach is ensuring that Usawa actually fits you. We do all the implementation, do the training of your staff, especially if you have to migrate from whatever cash accounting that you're doing into Akura IPSAS reporting. We will help you with the software to migrate and get the best of it, and we'll give you a comprehensive software during your bedtime period, depending on the time that you want us to keep working with you. We give you a comprehensive support so that at the end of the day, you will find Usawa as the best option for you. Now, thank you very much. It is our hope and it's our belief that we can build a more transparent, efficient, accountable public sector together with Usawa. To contact us, please, our office are located in Abuja. Our Abuja office is at third floor, City Plaza, Ukuba Close, Area 11. It's actually very close to Bioba Kitchen. And our Lagos office is at 15 Onikebo Akonde Street, Lekki Phase 1, Lagos. You can call us, you can call me directly on my number 08033219619, or send me an email for a private demonstration that relates to your organization directly at biode.agbi@pillarcraft.com. Thank you for your time.